This poster is so big that it doesn't fit at all in the thing. In case you needed to see what it looks like. It is gigantic. What's the deal with this pop life and when is it gonna fade out? Never. Hi everyone. It's certainly been an interesting and upsetting week for Asians in the United States. I've been feeling a lot of different feelings, especially this face running around this town. So I just decided to do something that would make me happy this week, something just reminiscing on memories, wonderful memories that I had of this time. So NSYNC! I do want to let you know, though, that the shirt that I was wearing last week, the Sandra Oh quote, it's just an honor to be Asian. This week, East West Players is going to be selling that shirt again, except this time it's in red. So I'm going to pop the link up there and then a photo of it over here somewhere so that you can see what it looks like. It's just in red. The original one is black, so now it's in red. They're going to be selling it for 2 weeks. So if you hate racism and you want to contribute to pro-Asian groups, go ahead and click that and go buy the shirt because that's where they're going to be donating. I'm going to be putting a lot of links too down below where you can report a hate crime and then stop hating against Asians because I'd really appreciate that. Thanks. What is my story with NSYNC? Like all good teenagers of the 90s, I was obsessed with boy bands in the late 90s. They came out at that perfect sweet spot when I was 1999. How old was I? I was 14 years old. I first heard of NSYNC on the radio on Kiss FM in Los Angeles in 1998. I Want You Back came out on the radio and I heard it and I was like, who is this? I must know who they are. City Walk is where I usually went to go buy my singles at Sam Goody. If I'm in LA, I always went to Sam Goody to go pick up some singles and some albums. R.I.P. Sam Goody. And then they came out with the Disney Channel special. And that is really what propelled them into superstardom in the United States, was that Disney Channel special. So ever since then, I was lucky enough to see them in concert throughout the years. I was lucky enough to go on their very first tour where they played auditoriums. They played the Memorial Auditorium in Sacramento, California. I won tickets to that show. I bought tickets to that show. I went, to just emphasize how cheap this was, I went with my mom, my dad, my aunt, my friends Jamie and Versha, and then there was me. So we could all go together because tickets were like, I want to say $17 or $19. So we basically took up a row where we went, and Memorial Auditorium was where I graduated from high school, so it was very weird. Just doesn't seem like a place where you can hold a concert for a large, famous international boy band. But it was their very first concert at the time. Their opening acts were Britney Spears and Bewitched. When I heard Bewitched was opening for them, I got super excited. Like, I saw them on the marquee, and my dad almost crashed the car because I was so excited that they were playing. I just, C'est La Vie just came out. I thought they were phenomenal. And also Britney. That was my very first NSYNC concert, and at that point I was hooked and I saw them any chance that I got. I really missed out on especially the last stadium tour. I'm really sad I didn't get to go see that. But Lance Bass, I heard that you're hiding that, so if you could just go ahead and release that, that'd be great. Fast forward. It is the year 2017? 2017. What year was that? They announce who's going to be on the Walk of Fame, or who's going to, nope, it's 2000. In 2018, they announced who's going to be inducted into the Hollywood Walk of Fame. So it was finally NSYNC's turn. And when that announcement was made, I think all NSYNC fans kind of like lost their minds, because let's be real, out of all the boy bands that existed during the 90s, NSYNC was like NSYNC is like the holy grail. They haven't reunited, they haven't done tours. This would be an opportunity to see all of them together, which is very important for NSYNC fans because we hadn't seen them together in years. So at that point I made a plan and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be there. Me and my friends, we made a plan what we were gonna do when that happened. We were definitely gonna camp out overnight. I mean, hello. But there were all kinds of things like leading up to this Walk of Fame ceremony. They were gonna have an NSYNC pop-up shop. Like that was gonna be open the weekend of the week that they get their star. Like they had different multiple appearances and it was just NSYNC mania. It felt like childhood. It felt like the 90s. There was this one afternoon where I just wanted to check out. I wanted to scope out the shop and see what it looked like. See, the outside was decorated with a big marquee that said NSYNC on it, Dirty Pop store, and then the length of, you know, you can see how big this place is going to be. You can just get the logistics down, which is something that I do often just to like prepare myself, psych myself up for it, mentally bring me to that place where I need to be running around. So I go visit it with my friend Allison, and then I drop her off at home. I'm on the phone with my friend Sarah because she was gonna surprise me and show up in the same spot. But we just missed each other. I just left Hollywood and Highland where the pop-up shop was. And then she's on the phone with me and then she says hi to somebody. And I was like, who are you saying hi to? I think it was JC and Lance. So I said, yeah, I would really also like to meet JC because he is my fave. So I get back. I was almost home. I'm like a block away from my apartment and she's on the phone and she tells me this and I think, yeah, I'm gonna turn around. So I turn my car around and I go and I call Allison and I'm like, hey, this is happening. I'm gonna pick you up again. And she's like, okay. So she came downstairs, I picked her up, we go and we meet Sarah at Hollywood and Highland. And so it's basically just the three of us who are hanging around the store knowing that Lance and JC are inside. We're waiting outside for hours. Like they had a bunch of press to do in there. They popped out their heads, so like we knew they were still in there. There's only one exit. That sounds creepy. Eventually they made their way outside and they were extremely nice, and then they stopped to take photos with us and we were just being nerdy and goofy and just happy because it was NSYNC weekend. These are the guys who are going to be getting their star on the Walk of Fame, and here they are right in front of us. And it was awesome just to like have that moment of, hey, we met JC and Lance on their weekend. I mean, what a way to kick off NSYNC weekend, running into a couple of NSYNCers. So the day after was the pop-up shop, open for the first day. So me and Sarah decided to go on the first day. The pop-up shop opened at 12 o'clock and we showed up at like 8:30 to go into line just because I had a feeling that line was gonna be long. Not only was it long, but they closed off the line at some point because they figured not everybody was gonna get inside. Like it was that long. And I have a video of that very day. So listen, if you're not currently at the NSYNC pop-up shop for today anyway, I think you should definitely get here soon because the line is already kind of deep in. So the line is now all the way back here next to the red line stop, and we're going around. Made it back to Sarah. It is now 12:02.
I see a lot of flashing.
We love you!
Get here! Get over here!
I I think we actually went in at like 12:30, and there were all kinds of things to see in there. There were costumes, and there was that NSYNC no strings attached box where you can be a puppet. There was tons of merchandise, and Lance showed up at some point and made everybody freak out. Also fun. And then we just decided to hang out a bit in like the NSYNC lounge. It was like we just needed coffees to hang out all day listening to NSYNC music playing over the loudspeakers, which was heaven. Eventually, we left the store, and that was the night of the day before, that was the day before the Walk of Fame ceremony. So Sarah came over to my place. We weren't planning on sleeping, so we brought the stuff that we needed for the camp out. The Twitter said no lining up before a certain time, but like, if you're in fandom long enough, if you follow bands long enough, like, do you ever listen to no. So we didn't go until 10 o'clock, which I didn't even, at that point, things were happening. I already met JC and Lance, and we went to the pop-up store. There were so many things happening. We made our way to Hollywood Boulevard. There were about 60 people in front of us at that time at 10 o'clock at night. We were all kind of spaced out on the sidewalk. We brought a camping chair, and I brought my extra batteries, and you know, just stuff, a blanket, just stuff that you need to be comfortable. The following morning is when the news vans and everything started showing up at like 4 o'clock in the morning. And I'm sitting there in my chair and in my blanket, and my mom texts me because she wakes up and she goes, "I'm gonna watch the news just in case." And I said, "Oh, okay, you're probably not gonna see us on there because that's silly." Cut to like 5 seconds later when she sends me a video of me, Sarah, and Allison in our chairs, covered up or bundling up, looking directly at the camera, because the camera was pretty far away, so I didn't think it was gonna get any of us. Like, I didn't think it was aiming at us. I didn't think anything of it until my mom sent me that video. And I'm like, oh, we actually did show up here, so that's fun. But I mean, it's a memory, it's a keepsake. If anybody was looking for me that day, they knew where to find me. The ceremonies are pretty early in the morning, so it's not like you have to hang around there all day, but I mean, at that point, we hadn't even slept or anything. And then they started handing out wristbands at around 10 something or other, at which point, like, there were at least 40 people who had cut in line. I mean, I'm telling you, if boy band fans, like, managed to organize things, I'm telling you that it would be to the letter, so strict that nobody would be able to to mistake your place in line. I mean, boy band fans over the years have been cray fans. At that point, you have to kind of figure out where you're going to like stand in the barricade, because they could be anywhere. Like, they're in the front area, but there's also a lot of chairs in the front, so it's blocked by a lot of people. It's like, you just, you know, it's luck of the draw. Wherever you stand, you stand. So I picked the spot in front of the door where these chairs were, because I figured we'd get the best vantage point from there. At least see the podium and then see the door. And then later did I realize that they came through that door, so they were just sitting right there, like right in front of us. Yay! Good decisions! I mean, the ceremony was, it's just a few speeches and talking about getting a star, and they played, a funny memory is that they played over the loudspeakers. They originally started playing NSYNC music, and then it would be more just like 90s music, and then it went to like Britney Spears and went to the Spice Girls, and then we all started booing because it's like, this is an NSYNC ceremony. Why aren't you playing NSYNC music? Which I can attest, they did that for other Walk of Fame ceremonies. I went to New Kids on the Block, and they would play nothing but New Kids on the Block. And it was just beautiful. Everybody's singing along to those songs. We all know those words. I think it was Drive Myself Crazy and Tearing Up My Heart. And NSYNC did a video to Tearing Up My Heart with like the fans singing, and it was so beautiful. I wept. We went to Hollywood and Highland because we heard that they were all going there for the after party. So we just kind of scoped that out and saw who was coming in and out of the door downstairs, just some longtime NSYNC people. Lance came up to say hi to people, and then that was about it. Like, I drove everybody home, and come 6 o'clock p.m. that day, I crashed for the next 12 hours. I slept from 6 o'clock p.m. to 6 o'clock a.m. because I didn't sleep. So, So that's the story. I mean, it was an amazing day. I wouldn't trade it for anything, and I would do it all over again if I could. I would sleep out on the street. That's just the life of a boy band fan, isn't it? It's the life of a NSYNC fan, because we haven't seen them together in so long. And as I wrote in that wall, yeah, now is the time for them to reunite. Come on, party people. There's a party going on tonight. And I really do hope that they reunite. I mean, not only were they a vocal powerhouse as a fivesome, they were incredible dancers all together as a group. You know, I really can't say enough good things about them. I mean, I liked a lot of boy bands in the 90s, like a lot of boy groups, a lot of girl groups, but NSYNC were my number one. They will always be my number one. If you like this video and if you want to share your boy band NSYNC memories, and were you there at the Walk of Fame? Just comment below, subscribe, like, hit the notification bell so you'll know when there are more of these videos coming out, because there are endless things that I'm obsessed with. Endless. These stories just go on and on and on. Thanks for watching. It's midnight and we're gonna rock this line. So I don't think sleep's gonna happen today, but we're ready for it.
We are officially on hour 2 of the Camp Out 2018 for NSYNC Walk of Fame. Still alive and still awake is what I meant, not alive. Clearly we're alive, but also awake, so yay. Hour 3, still awake, not sleepy. Are you sleepy? Not sleepy. Look at the people. Not sleeping. Hour 4, I'm getting sleepy. But everybody's still pretty awake and kicking it right now, so still good. I just noticed that it's almost 4 o'clock, so it's more like hour 5 already, but oh well, I forgot to log in that hour. It's getting chillier for California.
Till the day my life is through, this I promise you. This I promise